Welcome to Telling the Tale. It's the podcast in which we cover every single Telltale, or as has been the case lately, Telltale-adjacent narrative adventure video game. I'm your host, Mitchell Farley Wolfe, and I'm joined, as always, by Dustin Cornelius Jackson. Hey, Dustin.
Mitchell, I had to get and use an item to be here today.
And we're also joined, I'm passing over that. We're also joined by a good friend of mine from over a decade now, and a big fan of Homestar Runner cartoons. I'm just excited to have him here. I've thought a lot about getting someone from just the world I live in real life on this podcast. Hasn't happened up until today, so it's a big moment, I think. Eric Geels. Hey, Eric, how are you doing?
Hey there, Mitchell. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to be on your show, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about Homestar Runner. Been a fan of that for like a decade and a half at this point, I feel like. So.
A decade and a half. What was the Homestar Runner moment that put you into its fandom?
Oh, yeah, I think the very first Homestar Runner related thing I saw was the Strong Bad email where he gets a virus. So I think that was around like, I don't know, 2003 or 2004, right?
That's 20 years.
Yeah, you're right. I should count better.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is quite a long time ago. It's interesting to go back and watch all the different Strong Bad emails because the first one seems so retro. They seem so 90s, so early internet. And the last ones, or I mean, not like the very last ones, because those have come out like at a pace of once every 5 years for the last 15 years.
Right.
But like toward the tail end, they look basically modern already. And the gap between them is maybe 3 years, and they're all around Y2K.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it does feel like there's a lot of growth in there, a lot of progression in the storytelling and animation, art style, and everything.
It's interesting hearing the characters' voices change, seeing them do more with them. Like, Strong Bad is such a basic character at first.
Yeah, yeah. Like, the whole joke of Strong Bad is rude. You know, he's just rude. He's just like a rude guy.
He's kind of a mean guy.
He's mean, yeah. He's a villain. And then later, the joke of Strong Bad is that he's... I don't even know. I don't even really know.
It changed to be like he's maybe the only like sane or coherent character, and everyone else is just sort of nonsensical.
Yeah,
like he's sort of the straight man in the universe.
Yeah, he definitely thinks he's evil and cool and villainous.
He thinks he's a cool guy.
He's kind of just the only guy. The game we're talking about today is something that I think was easy to overlook, especially in everything else that we've been covering on Telling the Tale. So, Eric, I don't know how much you know about the exact format of this show, but we are going through every single episode of Telltale games that came out throughout that company's entire existence, going over things like the Sam & Max games, every episode of The Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, and importantly in this case, Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, of which there were 5 episodes. We did cover those 5 episodes in 5 episodes of this podcast, I think like 2 years ago now.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a little while.
Been that long? Wow.
Yeah, and most of those older series are getting reasons for us to come back and talk about new things. Not necessarily because they further our goal of going over every Telltale episode, but because they're somewhat part of that story. Gearbox has taken the Borderlands it hasn't taken the Borderlands franchise, it always had it, but it's done new Tales from the Borderlands, and there is a new Sam & Max game, but it's a VR game, and there's going to be a sequel to The Wolf Among Us. And we just played The Expanse, which is a new IP for Telltale, but it's made by the new company, Telltale, the company that has absorbed that brand name and persists now. Right. And also continues to hire some older Telltale people, although there was just a massive layoff at New Telltale. That
I did hear about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoops is right, Dustin. Thank you. My exact feelings. Yeah, that's a real bummer. And once we have, I would like to talk about it more. Once we have more information about it, it seems a little early, but it does seem like a majority of employees at that company are not there anymore, which is pretty devastating for those hoping for a big return to the Telltale format with both The Expanse and next year's Wolf Among Us 2, if that still comes out in the time frame it was supposed to.
Yeah, apparently, was it Jeff Keighley who said he reached out and they said, yeah, it's still coming, but we'll see.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley, he can just get in there, I guess. He can just find out things.
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole news publication is just his own Twitter account, I guess. So it's just something he can do.
Like Dangeresque teaches us, anyone can be a detective.
Is that the takeaway? is that the...
I think that's the moral.
That's the lesson.
That's the moral.
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Speaking of that, let's go over what we're talking about today. Dangeresque, the Roomisode Triungulate. Now, if you search this in Google, Google will ask you, "Are you sure you don't mean triangulate?" And I would tell Google in that instance, they're both not words. Why do you think that's better? I don't know. But Dangeresque, the Roomisode Triungulate was a game released by Vital Electrics, which is the game publishing side of the Brothers Chaps, which are the original creators of the Homestar Runner cartoon universe, everything. Released on August 11th, 2023. And also, I noticed in the credits for this game, it is mostly just by the Brothers Chaps, but they have a lot of other people here and there who probably helped out in specific ways that I don't think the credits were descriptive enough to know exactly what they did. But I noticed some Telltale names.
Oh, really?
No way, really?
Yeah, I did. So Jonathan Scrow was in there. SGRO, which is a old school Sam and Max name.
Awesome.
That's one that I recognized. There were a bunch more, and I'm sure there were some others that I didn't recognize, but it's really cool that whatever relationship the Chapman brothers had with Telltale back, what is it? Was that 2008 or 2009?
I want to say 2007 or 8. Was it before or after season 2 of
It was
Sam and
after. So I was thinking 2009.
Okay,
But
yeah.
It could be 8. Yeah, I mean, that's almost 15 years ago. So some amount of that relationship persisting is really cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the game. It is technically divided into episodes, just like Telltale games, which was another reason that we considered it important to cover. Because, hey, we love our episodes, but we're going to talk about the whole game in one episode today. Just because these episodes are... It doesn't really feel right to call them episodes in the traditional sense. They're levels. It's
Well, yeah, that's why they're
little
Roomisodes.
bites.
Yeah, they're it almost feels like the Mario Party mini game approach to the Telltale point and click format of episodes. Like, these are really little guys.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually.
So, cards on the table. What did we think of Dangeresque, the Roomisode Triungulate?
Eric, why don't you go first?
Yeah,
Our
man, I
special
thought it
guest.
was... yeah, for what it was, I thought it was excellent. Like, the Homestar Runner franchise is just full of self-referential humor, so I think if you're invested into it already, new content is always going to be fun to experience. And I hadn't actually played Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people, so this is sort of a different way to experience it that I haven't done before, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I'm sure we'll talk more in detail.
Yeah,
That was my.
I agree.
thoughts.
It as a small sort of thing that just kind of came on the radar without knowing it was going to happen. Really, really cool little bite-sized funny thing. Apparently, and I didn't know about this, a smaller version of this game, maybe just, I think it might have just been the first Roomisode, existed somewhere on the website, the Homestar Runner website, like a really long time ago. And in the process of moving it out of Flash to make it future-proof, they just made the whole rest of the game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Dustin, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a very small game, but I appreciated that. Like, it's just something that's fun to jump in, just play for a little bit, get some good laughs, some funny ha-has. And, yeah, it was just a good time. Not like a huge commitment.
Yeah. I think compared to what we've immediately previously done on this podcast, not counting The Legend of Monkey Island, but right before that, we took about 2 months to cover a single series, because it was 2 series we were covering concurrently, and we were bouncing between them. And to just finish a whole story in one night, even with it being kind of a silly little thing in comparison to The Expanse or The Walking Dead Season 3, it was nice to have that immediate conclusory feel.
Definitely, yeah.
Conclusory?
Conclusory.
How do we feel about that? Is that a word?
It's just as good as Triungulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair. Did you play the tutorial?
I did play the tutorial, yeah.
Yeah. I thought this tutorial did not need to be there, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
agreed.
especially because if you're trying to teach someone how to play a point-and-click adventure game, I feel like the point of a tutorial would be to tell them what to look out for in the environment, and to like how you should to start thinking about how you should approach puzzles. So for the tutorial to be like, if you pick up this cheeseburger and then click the car, you can wipe the cheeseburger on the car, and that's it. That's
Good
what that
job.
accomplishes. Yeah, outside of that, I thought the pace of this was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think I spent the most time, by kind of a long time, on the first Roomisode behind the danger desk.
Oh, interesting. Like, how come? It took you a while to just, like, get it all down? Or
put the pieces together.
Yeah, I guess so. It might have been me, like, sort of sliding back into point-and-click puzzle solving. Because we haven't done...
It has been a while.
Yeah, the traditional old-school Telltale point-and-click puzzle solving. Although this, we should say, the tone of this is not really Telltale-y at all in terms of gameplay. It feels a lot more like Sam and Max Hit the Road, the old LucasArts stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Humongous stuff.
I mean, part of it's, I think part of it is also you're doing the old school method of holding your click down and choosing what you do with an item.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long. I don't think that's how you did it in those early Telltale games. Wasn't it you just click on it and then you grab it and say something?
It was always contextual in like Sam and Max.
This one's more like Monkey Island or Day of the Tentacle, where you have to decide what to do with an item.
It took me a long time to figure out the relationship between Strong sat in the window across the street. You see him watching TV. He's really pressed against the window. It's kind of the perfect angle for it. It took me a long time to get the relationship between that and calling the cable people to change every single television on the street you're on to only broadcast one channel.
I got that part down. Like I felt like that was pretty. Like I got that pretty easily, but what I didn't get right away was the takeout to make it look like
the takeout box took me a little bit.
Yeah. In this Roomisode, we have the character of the Chief. Have we seen or heard the Chief before?
No, the Chief is totally a new character in the Homestar Runner universe. I'm pretty sure.
It's a good character.
Sounds like He sounds like Crack Stuntman. From
That's
the
what I was
Cheap
gonna say.
Commandos.
His voice is sort of like Crack Stuntman combined with maybe like Strong Sad or something. That was like a crossover between two voices.
Yeah, Matt Chapman. Is it Matt or Mike that does all the voices? I always forget which one does it. But it's just him doing everything. It's so impressive.
Yeah.
And the idea that 20 years later he can break out like, I've got a couple more. Like a couple more still identifiable voices. In the second Roomisode, we get 2 new voices as well. Arcade Guy and Nice Car Guy.
Oh yeah, Nice Car Guy. That's true. Yeah, were there any new voices in the Telltale one, Strong Bad's Cool game? Were there new voices there, or was it just sort of?
I don't think we had any new characters in that, did we?
I want to say there were some voices that might have been new. I don't remember if they're from anything in the final episode of that game. In the final episode of that game, Strong Bad basically falls into his Atari and goes into the video game world. And some of those video games had characters that I remember thinking were new-ish. Although most of them were still like, here's a Stinko Man game, and here's a licensed Marshy the Marshmallow game. So it was like older characters coming back.
Yeah. I forgot about Marshy.
How could you forget about Marshy?
That's good. Well, I just always think of Jelarshi.
Jelarshi?
Yeah, Jelarshi's the one in the game. He's a Jello marshmallow guy. He sucks. He's really horrifying.
He says, "I'm coming to your house after school."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Marshy kind of sucks already. So.
Marshy kind of sucks already. Jelarshi's horrifying.
Really?
Yeah. Especially because I think there's like vegetables in the Jello that you can see inside of him jiggling around. Didn't like it. Did not like that.
Don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love the little quips from the chief in this episode, because the premise here is that the chief is mad at Dangeresque. And by the way, I think this is the only Dangeresque thing they ever do where there's no dropping the metafiction of the fact that this is Strong Bad playing a character. Like throughout the entire story here, it's just Dangeresque.
There's one small thing.
Okay.
And it's so sometimes you can die in this game, and
yes,
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
It's or did I? But there's one in episode 2 where you can get hit by the car when you cross the street, and then it just quickly it switches to Strong Sad wearing the Strong Bad mask as he gets hit by the car.
I don't think I got that one.
I don't think I got that one. I did get the ones in the third Roomisode where Strong Bad gets smashed by the satellite and gets replaced by Strong Sad with a paper bag over his head. Yeah,
that's good. That's one of my favorite bits in Dangeresque.
Yeah, that is good. It's okay. So Roomisode 1, Behind the Danger Desk. The chief is mad at Dangeresque because I guess he's had a crime that he needs to solve for 3 months and has simply not tried. Not even attempted. And you need to somehow get a picture of what looks like the victim being attacked and collect evidence from the scene, which should have... I don't think that should be the detective's job to, like, gather vomit. That doesn't seem like your thing.
We played so many CSI games.
Eric, we played so many CSI games. Where
you know how this all works.
20 episodes of them across 4 games.
Oh, wow. Were those like one per week also?
No, we normally took our CSI games and condensed them to like 1 or 2, maybe 3 at max episodes of the podcast.
There was no way we could stretch that out.
Yeah, it was the CSI, I think... That there are darkest days. Those games are really, really rough.
We can put them behind us.
We can.
Yeah, let's try not to talk about that anymore.
Then. But yeah, in those games, you go around collecting semen, blood, earwax occasionally. You get to see a weird full motion video of a rat crawling inside a dead guy's mouth. It's great.
Pretty good stuff.
It's pretty good.
Nice.
And this Strong Bad has the decency to hide the fact from the camera that he's vomiting into a paper bag. Which is his solution to just collecting some evidence.
He just needs some vomit.
I like the implication that, like, if they use this evidence, they'll find out, oh, it was Dangeresque. He did it because it's his vomit. But he doesn't.
Yeah,
he
they're
does
not
care
gonna
about
test
that.
it.
They just need some. Yeah. But yeah, that's the idea. You just need the picture. You need the evidence from the scene, and you need to stamp the case file with the word solved, which you can do by using a stamp that says unsolved, but putting the un part over the side. Why have a stamp that says unsolved?
Yeah, it was confusing to me. What was also confusing is if you do accidentally stamp the whole unsolved on there, Dangeresque just gets thrown in jail because of it.
Yeah,
Like,
immediately has to go to jail.
He just screwed up solving the case, so now he's got to go into the slammer.
Okay, yeah, so I did these things, and then it said, end of episode, I got a 161 out of 170. It gives you points for it, which is a really old school thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's what I got too, or somewhere around there. It was 160 something.
I got 161 out of 170 for all 3 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I didn't keep that good track of my score, but it was in the 160s for sure, yeah.
Yeah, most of this, the points, like the vast majority, definitely over 100 of the points, are just for progressing along the main path through the story.
Right, just the big stuff.
But occasionally, like, finding a little Easter egg or doing a little thing over here or over there, that'll give you just a small handful of extra points. So I'm guessing I have one 9-point thing I didn't do in all 3 episodes, and that's it.
Same. Yeah. I felt like I tried to do everything, but I guess not.
Yeah. What did you guys think when Pom Pom came in through the window and kicked the takeout box and turned it into a 3D object for a moment?
It was great. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that bit. Well, I noticed him coming and kicking the box, obviously, but it turned to a 3D model for a little bit. Really?
Yeah, it might be a 3D model the whole time, but it's like only shot from the static perspective, so you can't tell. But when he kicks it and it just like spins through the air, you can definitely tell, like, oh, that's 3D for some reason, and everything else is very sprite based.
Yeah, well, I mean, the little animation that plays with Dangeresque running across the rooftops, I think, was also in 3D.
Yeah.
So that sort of makes me think that the whole game, it just kind of is that the whole time, but it's just not easy to tell from the perspective you typically are viewing it from.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, they have a lot of 3D stuff in here.
They do, but like I think that Strong Bad's character is definitely sprite based when you're just doing it through the regular gameplay. Like, that is not a model. That's a hand-drawn sprite. There's probably just it is 2 hobbyists. You know, the brothers chaps are, I guess they've made a lot of video games, but they're not video game makers by trade. Right. So whatever they got to do to make it work it works out, and it's a fun looking thing. It does remind me a lot of those like very later LucasArts adventure games or later Humongous games, because that was kind of the time period where we started to see that sort of stuff in those games as well. Like, occasionally there would just be one 3D animation in the middle of an otherwise 2D game, and that would be normal. Very 90s thing. Yeah, I like this Roomisode. Is this anyone's favorite Roomisode? No.
I don't think it's mine, but it is good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't think it was my favorite.
Yeah, I think all 3 of them are fine, at least. But yeah, this is not my favorite either. Roomisode 2, the intersection of Doom and Boom.
That's a good name.
It is pretty good, right? It's actually these names keep getting better for each Roomisode. I won't spoil the 3rd one yet. Um, the intersection of Doom and Boom starts with the Dangeresque breaking down, which is Dangeresque's car. And they pop the hood and they find a bomb in there. And then that is the impotence for the episode. They gotta find out how to defuse the bomb. That's the whole thing.
So this one might be my favorite of them just because Ronaldo's in it.
This is also my favorite one, yeah.
You get a lot of good dialogue from both of them.
Yeah, there's a couple different reasons I think this one is superior to the other two. I think I agree.
I think I like the focus of it the most. In both Roomisode 1 and 3, there's like a list of things you need to accomplish by the end of it. In this one, it is just down to defusing the bomb. And for this Roomisode format, I think I like that more. In a larger adventure game, it's usually great to have concurrent lines of puzzles you can work on at the same time. So if you get stumped with one, you can go somewhere else and maybe learn a little bit more while you're doing that other thing about the first thing. Right. But like these are so small that you don't really need to do that. You can just go through.
Focus on the one.
Yeah. I love that they make it into a puzzle, the fact that Ronaldo, who is Coach Z, is just freaking out so much that he can't do anything. So like the first order of business is just to soothe him. And that's kind of the if you can do that, then the whole rest of the episode unravels. But that's a hard puzzle, I think. I don't know how well known this trick is amongst younger people. But so you have a cassette, and the magnetic tape for the cassette is all sort of blown out. And the trick is there's a finger sign, and you have to sort of equivocate that to a regular finger, and then remember the trick of sticking your finger in a cassette and tightening the spool to bring the magnetic tape back in. Yeah, I don't know if that's common knowledge. For maybe
I didn't know about it for sure.
You did not?
No.
Oh, interesting. And you're older than me, Eric. You're like a grandpa to me.
Oh, haha, yeah. This is the closest I actually got to being stuck, if you can say it, that it was being stuck. I think it took me like 5-10 minutes maybe to figure out what to do with that cassette, but it seemed that I was in impasse for a little bit, and even like mentioned, if I had fingers, I could wind this up, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Just for the folks at home, Eric is like the same grade in school as me. He might be a few months older than me. He's not my grandpa to me. That was a silly.
We would never have a grandpa on this show.
We would never have a grandpa on this show. It goes against our core beliefs. Wouldn't do it. Yeah, and like there's a very famous example of puzzles that are too abstracted in the point and click medium to make sense logically to the player, which is the monkey wrench in Monkey Island 2, where you have a monkey that just is in your inventory, and then later in the game you find it's like some plumbing that has a bolt on it that needs to be tightened or loosened, and you just need to use the monkey in your inventory on the bolt, because the joke is that you're turning it into a monkey wrench. Very hard to conceptualize that as the player.
Also does not translate very well for other regions.
Yeah, because that's not the name of that tool in other
that's a good point.
Regions of the world. Yeah.
One thing I will say about these Roomisodes, I feel like them being so small and you having such a limited inventory, it really helps. It really doesn't feel bad to just try out everything you have with everything on screen. So it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like fun just clicking on an item and using it on everything, but like it's not like a waste of time or anything. You can pretty easily stumble onto the situation eventually.
Yeah, I feel kind of... Oh, sorry, Eric, go ahead.
Oh, I was just kind of doing that, just kind of using items on stuff in the environment.
Yeah.
I feel like this episode had a couple like extra things that you could do that with. Like I used the tire iron to destroy the cold one sign, and I don't think that did anything as far as advancing.
Oh, I did not
Oh,
do that.
I didn't do
Plot.
that. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, so you can do that. You can destroy the street light too, I think.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, that one I think you have to.
I didn't destroy
Really?
the street light. I think.
Oh, okay. It was my understanding that the building on this intersection
Oh,
has 3 units of electricity using things that need to be turned off or broken.
Oh, so maybe you did have to do those things.
yeah. I forgot about that.
Well, with the cold one sign, I just turned it off because you can just press
Same.
use on it and it turns it off.
I didn't know you could destroy it though. That's fun.
Yeah, the street light, I couldn't find any other way other than throwing a rock at it and breaking it. I feel like that's the only one. And then, of course, the guy playing the arcade machine needs to be turned into the feds by holding up and start on player 2 while on the select screen. That, of course, as is often the case with some of these old arcade machines, it summons the FBI into the room and arrests the player.
Yeah, that well-known exploit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The finger sign thing, it did stump me for a moment, and then I realized what it was going for. I guess the nice thing about it's exactly what you're saying, Dustin. Like, there's just not that many combinations of items and environmental objects to combine with each other, and you can't combine inventory items with each other, which is
he yells at you if you try.
Yeah,
I really tried in every single act, I think, and he says something slightly different.
that's fun. That's fun because that means that they did put effort into that mechanic and then just didn't have it. But yeah, it just means there's very few things that you can do. So you go through them and you'll eventually brute force every episode. I would say these games, in my opinion, and this is, I feel weird like giving an actual critique to a game like this because it's
just like a little
fun thing.
Silly thing.
Yeah, it's just silly. But if I were to do it, I would say the point system, it emphasizes trying everything with everything, but the fun in these point-and-click adventure games is being smart enough to solve the things so you don't have to do that. I feel like there's a bit of a conflict between those two ideas of like trying to get everything out of the episode and trying to solve the puzzle so you don't have to do everything in the episode.
Right, I get that. For something like this, though, I definitely don't want to just get it right off, because I do want to hear all the dialogue, at least for, like, a strong bad game.
Yeah. I think in Homestar World, the reason to hang out there is just to see what they're going to say and see the writing and hear the voice acting, which is very good.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's what it all comes down to. Like, this isn't, like, the best, most exciting adventure game in the world, but it's just an easy breezy little time with characters you like to hear.
So this episode actually has a third new character we didn't even mention, which is the Raccoonolith.
That's true.
I love this guy.
I love that guy.
Just a wide raccoon. That's so good.
Yeah, he was really quite substantial.
I hope he sticks around.
Yeah, I do wonder how sensitive these sorts of weights at stoplights are in real life versus, like, because I don't think a person could activate it, so that has to be a pretty heavy raccoon. Although Strong Bad also can activate that little weight thing, right?
Yeah, Strong Bad can temporarily activate it by jumping on it, and I think it's the force of the jump, not like his standing weight, that does it. Yeah, but the raccoon is substantial enough. Not only substantial enough to press it down, but to stick it down permanently.
Right, yeah, yeah.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a chonker.
Yeah, and this needs to be done in order to change the stoplight so that a car that drives through this intersection at 1,000,000 miles per hour every second, I guess, stops doing that. And it turns out the reason he was doing that is because he had a pet in the car, which he does not specify the species of. He just has a pet in there that has made pet stuff all over the car, and he's trying to go fast to get away from the smell. Love that. That's great.
Pet stuff.
So Dustin, you mentioned you can get hit by the car at one point. How did you do that?
I don't know how I did it, because usually if you try to walk in the street, Strong Bad, like the car will just zoom by and Strong Bad just won't cross. But I there was a time where I clicked on the manhole cover, and then he goes to go in the street, and then it cuts to Strong Sad getting hit by the truck or the car.
Was that like a game over? Did it rewind?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah, it's weird that he only did it the one time though.
It is weird that he only did it the one time. It's weird. It's weird how like little logical flow you can put into some of these puzzles in order to still have them make sense if the writing makes sense. Like with the nice car guy, if you stop him and you start talking to him, he goes, "Yeah, this car smells pretty bad. Give me some good smells, and you can have my busted antenna," which is not something you even asked for. And that's just like the forward thrust of the episode at that point. From then, like, okay, I gotta give him some good smells, I guess.
You just gotta get that antenna.
Yeah, and you have a whole bottle of perfume, and he's like, "Well, this is too much smell." So you gotta dilute it by blowing it sort of a little bit onto an air freshener to refreshen the air freshener.
Right.
Yeah, classic nonsense LucasArts bullshit. Give me good smells, and you can have my busted antenna. Yeah. There's one puzzle in this Roomisode that I thought was like kind of a lot for what it's asking the player. In the sewer, you have the toolbox, and it's got a code on it, and it just had a 3-pointed star, a 4-pointed star, and a 5-pointed star as the combo options for opening this toolbox in 3 slots. And it turned out that you needed to get away from the toolbox screen to look at the background behind the toolbox, and you can see that there's sections of the sewer wall that have 5 bricks, then 3 bricks, then 4 bricks, and you need to put it together that that's the code for the toolbox. That seems like a little much.
Well, they give you a hint for it.
Do they?
Yeah, there's like some grime on the toolbox, and if you clean it away, it says bricks.
Oh, I never even cleaned that.
I didn't do that, yeah.
I tried. How do you clean it away?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, I think I just realized that the stars evoked numbers, and then I saw the bricks. And I realized I couldn't do anything else with the bricks, so it kind of just clicked.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at least they do give you a hint for it.
Yeah, I guess if all 3 of us just got it, then it is fine. But it seems like it would be a lot.
It's tricky dicky.
It's a little, well, let's not get blue on this show, Dustin. So you do everything you need to do to defuse the bomb, but then you find out, because you read one more page of the bomb defusal guide, that if you do all of those things without first wiping the bomb down in fast food oil, it'll look like you solved it and then later explode, so that happens.
Yeah, you get a great explosion shot with the 3D models.
Yeah. And it explodes you all the way into a diner, I guess, where you meet Perducci, who's played by King of Town and is Dangeresque's longtime bad guy. Yeah, and his mook killing you guy, he's there too. And you see the name of Roomisode 3, keep my enemies closer, but then the C falls out, so it's keep my enemies, loser. Great name for an episode.
You got him.
Turns out that Perducci did the evil deed of reminding the chief about the case, and also bombing the car just to get Dangeresque in there so he could hire him for the night to thwart 4 different assassination attempts on Perducci. I did not understand the premise when it was being explained to me, and I had to see Perducci die once in order for me to understand how this was going to work.
You had to witness a death before it clicked.
Yeah, and the death was like a lot. Did you get the first Marzipan death?
Yeah, she just throws a knife at him.
Yeah, she sticks him. Yeah, Homestar has always had sort of it toes a very thin line, I feel like, between its tone, because like people dying is not something that's ever really shown in the show at all. I feel like this is like the first time that they've actually depicted a death.
Yeah.
Anyway, right?
Probably, I think. Well, you get Trogdor burninating all the peasants.
Sure, that's like a cartoony kind of thing, like Bugs Bunny getting blown away by a shotgun or something.
Yeah, it's not getting stabbed in the neck.
Yeah, just having a knife be thrown at your neck and then immediately just conking out. It is a little more serious than I thought. And even Strong Bad comments on it. He's like, "Whoa, wow, oh my gosh, yeah, he's dead."
Yeah, speaking of Marzipan, I think in the first Dangeresque tune, she's like a character that they have to rescue
yeah, she's like Cutesy Buttons.
Yeah, Cutesy Buttons. So she's been recasted, I guess, as some sort of assassin.
I think this is this from Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, Dustin? The double crossing of Cutesy Buttons into an assassin. I feel like we've seen this, especially like her black outfit.
It's been so long. I would totally believe you if you said it was.
I think it is. I think it's from the 4th episode of Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People is Dangeresque 3, the criminal projective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to continue the tradition of Dangeresque things having the wildest subtitles with fake words in them. Yeah, Dangeresque 3, the criminal projective, I think has Marzipan playing either like an evil twin of Cutesy Buttons, or Cutesy Buttons herself was evil the whole time or something.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's been a little while.
Now she's an assassin.
And we're just picking up on that thread here. Because if you use the door at any point before you've like solved that assassination, you don't get to go through it. You never get to go through it. But Strong Bad just opens it a little bit, and then Marzipan comes out and just throws a knife through the opening of the door. Pretty good. Yeah, so you're not allowed to do that. You have to remove a shield from one of the statues and put it on the King of Town in order to get the knife to bounce off it.
You know what? The second episode is my favorite, but I feel like this one felt the most satisfying to go through.
Yeah, I think that
the puzzles just kind of hit a little harder for me. I think like going from one assassin to the next and just everything all coming together.
Yeah, just doing those things in order is pretty fun. Taking them all out. What's your favorite assassination of the 4 of them?
I really like Bubs with just a gun.
Yeah, Bubs just has a gun.
Bubs with a gun, yeah. I think I liked Homestar blowing the poison dart from was he inside a statue or something? Or no,
yeah.
It was from a wine.
From
a wine cask.
Yeah.
Wine barrel. Which is another weird thing. Like Homestar is supposed to be Dangeresque 2 in this fictive universe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dangeresque 2 goes back and
assassin.
forth between being a rival and a villain and a helper and a Ronaldo.
He's just kind of a wild card.
He's a wild card. That's what he brings to the table.
He's a loose cannon cop.
Yeah, Dangeresque is like a loose cannon, but Dangeresque 2 is like he's like also a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this one sound effect that Homestar uses a lot in the cartoons, and it shows up here when you blow out the candle. It makes a
yeah.
It's a good sound effect. Yeah, so Marzipan tries to throw a knife at his head as Cutesy Buttons. Dangeresque 2 tries to blow a poison dart through a hole in the wine cask. Bubs, who I think might not be playing a character, just has a gun and tries to shoot him. So you need to order a turkey that like passes in front of him.
turkey.
A tall turkey.
It's tall turkey and short Getty.
And then at one point the phone rings, and if you answer it, a satellite drops from outer space onto the phone.
Triangulates on your position or something.
It does triangulate on your position. Thank you, Eric. That's really good stuff.
Perfect.
And so I solved all of those. I thought I was done. Thought it was over. You know it's not over. You gotta make Perducci a cocktail now.
The big final boss of the game.
Yeah. And you you do it.
They both have to like the name, right?
You put poison in it. Yeah, and then you have to name the cocktail. And if they don't like the name, they kill you. Yeah, and you need to look at Perducci's travel diary thing, where he just keeps a bunch of postcards from where he's been, finds out the place he likes the most, and then I guess just find out the word that killing you guy likes the most.
Which is just via dialogue, right?
Yeah, you ask him how he's gonna kill you, and like some of the methods he doesn't like, and then he asks crunch his bones, and he says
crunch.
I like crunch.
Yeah, he likes crunch.
Yeah,
and Perducci likes the place Saint Pod Lake, so you need to name the cocktail the Saint Pod Crunch in order for them to both like it. Which
that's fun.
It is fun. I like the idea that them liking a name is really just liking the constituent parts of a name.
Yeah, they meet in the middle on it. They each get something they enjoy.
Yeah, and you can fill it up with like liquid cleaner and a metal ball that looks sort of like a cherry and poison from the poison dart, and you can kill Perducci this way, which I thought was weird because like the whole time the reason we don't want Perducci to die is because if Perducci dies, killing you guys is going to kill us. But then we can just kill Perducci in the end. And the threat of killing you guys is not removed.
Well, I think he's just so distraught over Perducci being like, he's like patting his back trying to like save him, and that's when you can like make your getaway.
Guess so. And that's the game. Yeah, and then we got a little the credits play, and the credits song is that Dangeresque song that maybe I'll play at the end of this episode. I'll have to find out how to get it. But it's that one classic Dangeresque song. You know the one.
You know the one.
Looks like he's gonna have to jump, I think is the name of the song. I think.
Oh, is that what the actual track is called?
Or is it All Right for Tonight?
It's All Right for... Ooh, is it? Is it that song? I know that song.
Today is All Right for Tonight, yeah. I don't know if that's in Dangeresque or if that's in a different...
I think it's Dangeresque. He's driving in a Corvette and feeling all right.
He is in a Corvette. Right. I mean, it's the same car Strongbat has all the time. But then you get a little post-credits bonus where you get to be Dangeresque 2, just walking around the office doing nothing, I guess. I couldn't figure out if there was a way to progress anything here, so I just sort of looked around and...
Yeah, I think it had a couple of Easter eggs for you to listen to.
It was fun.
I think it's just for some fun little Homestar dialogue.
Yeah, because you don't get to see Homestar almost at all in the rest of this. And
yeah, if I had one complaint with this game, it might be that my wife watched me play through most of this, and she particularly likes Homestar and was disappointed that he wasn't in it quite as much.
Yeah, I really like that Rachel hasn't like grown up on Homestar Runner like we have maybe, but in her relatively brief time being exposed to it, she has come to the absolutely correct opinion that Homestar Runner himself is the best character in Homestar Runner.
I think that's true.
I think it's very true.
It is true, and it's not the opinion I had when I was a kid. Like I thought, oh, Strongbat's so funny. He's just so rude and wild. But I feel like I really flipped on that opinion.
Yeah, he's got that like 90s Bart sort of appeal.
You don't mess with him.
You don't mess with Strong Bad. He's a wrestle man, and he's got boxing gloves for hands.
He's the email checkinest guy in the land.
Yeah, so that's the game. That's the whole thing. You can get through it in about, I think it took me somewhere around an hour and a half, maybe a little
Steam
more.
says my playtime is 111 minutes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that sounds
right.
I
can just look on Steam. You're right. I should do that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Technology. Playtime 91 minutes. So yeah, pretty short.
Easy breezy.
Easy breezy. $7. So not very much of a commitment financially or time based. Pretty good. Would recommend.
Yeah, you get some good laughs. Have a great time.
Yeah. Wow. I got. Okay, maybe I could have spent more time on it because I only got 7 out of 32 achievements.
There are a lot of achievements in this game, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Let's see, how many did I get?
3 of the big achievements are full scores on each of the Roomisodes. But then I have 22 hidden achievements remaining. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like I got 8. Oh, I got one for smashing up the cold one sign, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did, I got hit by the satellite.
I did that, yeah.
I stood behind the traffic light to make it look like the traffic light was my head.
That's fun. I did that in the first episode where you stand under the light and he says he looks like one of the Spy versus Spy guys.
Oh, I didn't do that. I should have done that. I bet that's the points I was missing.
Yeah, just like little fun little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the satellite, I wanted to pause that bit because there's like a recurring gag in the series about the Italian space program, so I was expecting to find some sort of Italian text on it, but
I think the side of the satellite just says experimental or experiment, something like that. Which didn't feel like enough of a joke to me. I thought there was something else to it. You're right. It might have been the Italian space program.
if it's not, it should have been, because that would have been
Yeah.
Pretty good placement.
So that's the episode. That's the whole game. We are now going to jump into our segments. So
I love these segments.
Do you?
I love them enough to stick with them.
Yeah, I mean, we've done over 100 episodes of this podcast, so...
Yeah, it's too late to divorce now.
I should hope so. Our first segment is the golden moment. Our favorite little scene or little just moment within the plot of the episode. I'm going to start with Dustin.
Hello.
Just so our guest knows the sort of how this goes. So, Dustin, what is your golden moment?
So, this is going to be a little lame of an answer because I already brought it up earlier. I just like anytime they cut to Strong Sad wearing the Strong Bad costume so he gets hurt.
Yeah, that's good.
I also like Silhouette Guy being taken away by the feds. But I'm going to stick with the stuntman stuff. That's
good. Eric, what is your golden moment?
I think it had to be in the second episode. We talked about the cassette, but the song that it actually plays is Terrence Love's "Sweaty Overweight Jam."
Yeah,
without the vocals, which I thought was a really funny. I just like that character a lot. Yeah, I feel like it was. I don't know if it was a remix of it or if it was really just the track without the vocals. But yeah, I liked that part.
I sometimes get a Terrence Love song stuck in my head, and I'm trying to figure out like, what is this song? What do I remember this from? Is this like an R&B thing I heard once? And like, oh no, it's Terrence Love. It's the fake internet cartoon thing.
I think about his part in the Fisheye Lens video. The most.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Remain to 3.
My name is Terrence Love. I think my golden moment is just, we talked about it. It's the marzipan killing Perducci. Just the shock of that knife flying into Perducci.
Just him being straight up actually dead.
Yeah, and Strong Bad's reaction of like, "Whoa, did we do that? That's awesome." Wow. Yeah, so that's a good one. And Weekly Guy. Let's head into our final segment for today. We're just doing the two of them. It's not a big deal. Weekly Guy. This is our favorite character from the game. Normally we would pick one per episode, but with this we're just considering it the whole game. Eric, who's your Weekly Guy?
I think it had to actually be Strong Sad in this one for me. He had a couple different roles across the different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is in the Dangeresque, like in the first tune, they have to like strong arm Strong Sad in order to like get into the movie. I forget what they do. They like
steal his sandwich.
Yeah, they take his sandwich. So it's interesting to me that he's even in this because he obviously didn't want to do it in the first movie. I liked his appearances.
I like the idea that maybe Strong Sad is becoming infatuated with the fame associated with being in Dangeresque stuff. Yeah, now he just doesn't want to be left out.
He loves it.
I don't think he likes it, but he has to. Yeah. Is there a favorite Strong Sad moment in particular that you jived with?
Oh yeah, in the first episode, where you have to make him look scared, and
yeah,
I think there's a couple different channels you can choose. One of them is like the horror channel, and he's like totally not. He's scared.
He's clapping. He's clapping and laughing.
Yeah, he's laughing at that. I forget what you had to actually choose.
It's the medical procedural. So you see all the like surgery and stuff. Yeah, that is a good one. Mine is Nice Car Guy. I like being served a new character. And it's a new character with such distinct speaking patterns and funny lines right off the bat. I'm into that. He'll give you good smells if you can... Or, no, if you give him good smells, he'll give you his busted antenna. Good stuff right off the bat. Although I do think that the Chief is similarly a very strong contender.
Yeah, the Chief's good.
Dustin, who's your Weekly Guy?
So, I don't want to just give it to Dangeresque since he has, like, in a small game like this, he just has, like, the vast majority of the dialogue, so he's an easy pick. I'm going to give it to Ronaldo. I just think he's so funny in episode 2, and I just like his back and forths with Dangeresque.
I like that Strong Bad, despite usually not liking any of his neighbors or friends in any kind of way, he's very happy to include his brothers and Coach Z, who he's never shown respect for, in these roles.
Yeah, it's funny how like there's the Dangeresque things, and then in the Fisheye Lens video, he makes it with Coach Z. It feels like he and Coach Z get along every now and then.
Yeah, they specifically like making music for some reason.
Yeah, the two of them are the ones in the group that are creatives and like creating things. So they'll collaborate, even though Strong Bad really does not like Coach Z at all. He'll even give him the role of Ronaldo, who is with him in as the song goes all the time.
Yeah. He's his sidekick. He's his number 2.
Yeah. I feel like he could have given that to the Cheat or Bubs, or I'm trying to think of just any other character he likes more. It's crazy he didn't
give it to the Cheat.
Yeah, it is. Well, he can't talk.
That's true.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so your Weekly Guy was Ronaldo. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah,
Thank
Ronaldo's
you.
solid.
Did either of you get full score on any Roomisode?
Nope.
Yeah. Maybe it's fake.
You just can't
Maybe
do
it's
it.
fake. I don't know. I don't
know. I think 100%ing this game seems difficult to do without a guide, or you just have to have a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I might go through it all again just to get everything. It's not like it's a big time sink or anything.
It's not. Yeah, I feel like if you just play it twice, you'll probably get pretty close.
Yeah.
I won't do that though. I'm fine with having the score that I have.
I'm satisfied with my experience.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spring one last thing on you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a segment back from the dead, but only if either of you have something. I wrote down a whole laundry list of linguistic gymnastics.
Oh, okay, yeah. Linguistic gymnastics is a segment we used to do in some of our more writing-heavy games that we covered, which I think this would fall into the category of. We just talk about our favorite lines from the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we didn't talk about doing them, but I just figured I'd write down a bunch I had.
Sure. Yeah, Dustin, hit us.
One of my favorites is when you can make Dangeresque eat the takeout in the first episode, and he says, "Sorry, takeout. They said no loose ends."
Good. That's a good one.
Yeah. And one from the second episode. I guess I'll do one from each episode. The second one had it's when you find the tape in the trash, and he says, "I found this tape of slow jams. Someone trashed it just because it's broken and doesn't work anymore." And
These are good. These are good.
yeah, and in the third one, it's when you talk to one of the statues, and Dangeresque says, "Don't even think about coming to life and murdering Paducci. You got that?"
I do have one from the first Roomisode. Strongbad's as Dangeresque. He's just like talking to himself. I think he lost the plot a little bit at one point. And he's like, he's impersonating a girl, and he goes, "Let's make out." And then the chief from outside the room goes, "I'm not following for that. Gladys has been dead for 20 years.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Doesn't he make some sort of comment about his wife as well? Or am I making that up?
The chief's wife?
Yeah.
Well, after he says Gladys has been dead for 20 years, Strongbad goes, oh my god, sorry. And then the chief goes, "Gotcha! No woman would come near me." Just kidding.
That's good.
Yeah, pretty good one.
Okay, I have one more. It's in the Dangeresque 2 part at the end when you can look at the stuff in his desk and you see the Riff Simpkin baseball card. And he says, "That Riff Simpkin was a real Homestar runner for the Clarks."
The Clarks is a good team name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, do you have any linguistic gymnastics?
I want to say something Coach Z said when you give him that tape. I just like the way Coach Z talks and incorporate that language into my own.
I love how the way he talks
dialect.
was in the text. They made sure to spell it all out.
Yeah. I say it was probably something in there, but I don't remember anything specific.
Yeah, there's a lot of good writing in here. It's a really fun, just brief little thing. I guess it is movie length. We shouldn't call things brief if they're movie length. Movies are long.
If you watch a long one, yeah.
Damn, dude, you got me.
Wow.
Dustin, there was another Homestar Runner thing that was put on Steam recently, and we did not play it for this episode, but I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about it because you did.
Gladly. It's called Homestar Runner Halloween Hide and Seek. And, like, you think this game's simple? Homestar Runner Halloween Hide and Seek is like, if you know what to do, you can beat it in like 10-15 minutes. It's just, it's Halloween night, and you're going around, you just have to find everybody. And, you know, some of them you just have to find them in a spot. Like, Strong Sad is up in a tree, you just have to, you know, click on him and say, "Found you." But yeah, it's fun. It's just like a cute little thing you can play for a few minutes.
Yeah, it is $2 on Steam. Do you think it's worth $2?
Oh, totally. I think it's worth $2. There's still some good, fun dialogue in there.
That's a
Yeah.
endorsement if I've ever heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just have.
I was gonna say the graphical style for this sort of reminds me of like Pajama Sam or like Peasant Quest on the Homestar website, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little. It's even more in that style than the Dangeresque game is.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I like about it though, so every Halloween, all the characters are in costume, And there's a theme to it this year. They're all characters from adventure games.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at a community screenshot on Steam, and I'm seeing they're all really weird things.
Yeah, like the Poopsmith is Cobb from Monkey Island.
That's cool. Yeah, Cobb is one of my favorite Monkey Island characters because he likes loom.
Yeah, Marzipan is Trixie, the giraffe neck girl from Scranton, from Sam and Max, etc., etc.
That's a really niche pick. I mean, I guess these all are.
It makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense for her character design.
Yeah, who's Strong Mad? I'm looking at him. It looks like...
Strong Mad is Glottis from Grim Fandango.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it almost looked like either Dribble or Spitz. I forget which one is the big dog in WarioWare.
Oh yeah, you couldn't pay me to know which one was which.
It's Dribble or Spitz. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Do you have any lasting takeaways from that game?
Not really. Beyond it's just like a little 10-15 minute thing you can maybe like break out during the Halloween season. It's like a little Halloween special.
Cool.
Just a little thing to play, get some good laughs, some good yucks, and then you're done.
Would you say that like Dangeresque is definitively the Homestar Runner thing you should buy on Steam right now?
Like even over Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People?
Right, yeah, that would probably be it. that would be the one to do, actually.
Yeah.
Let me look up.
But Dangeresque is good too.
I think it's not.
Oh
there
wait,
anymore.
no, did they have
they
to?
Took down
yeah, they had to delist it. Yeah, so I guess Dangeresque would be the thing to get.
Yeah, man, that's a bummer. You just can't buy Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People anymore in any.
Gotta buy the hard copy, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta have a. Well, even the hard copies were like there was one for PC, but I don't know if consoles got a hard copy for Strong Bad.
I don't think they did because I
thought maybe there was a Wii version, but
yeah. Well, there was a Wii. Wii came out on WiiWare, so it was like.
Oh yeah, it was downloadable.
Yeah, it was a specifically downloadable thing. That
must be what I'm thinking of.
And then I want to say it came to PSN like later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really hope that Skunk Ape, which is the company that absorbed the rights to make remakes to and continue to sell the Sam and Max games made by Telltale, I hope that they get Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. That would be a good fit.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. They are currently still working on the remaster of the final season of Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse. Hope that comes out soon. It's supposed to.
Yeah, I want to play it again. I love that game.
Yeah, it's we've talked about it before. I think it's the second best Telltale game.
Wow.
Well, I thought that before. I don't know if I still do. And maybe I don't want to say. I don't know.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah. It's up there though. It's in the top 5.
I'd put it as number 3 for me. Maybe 2. Because number 1's Tales of Monkey Island, and then it's either Walking Dead Season 1 or Sam and Max Season 3.
Sam and Max Season 3, Walking Dead Season 1, Tales from the Borderlands really might be up there.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands is number 4 for me. After that, I have no idea.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands was a very pleasantly surprising game, especially because we don't like the Borderlands stuff that much, but that game in particular was great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having
me. Eric, would you like to either give any information about where our listeners can get any more of your cool thoughts, or just recommend anything else for them?
Anything else, huh? Well, I'm not really very active on social media. So I guess if you want more of my cool thoughts, reach out to Mitchell and he can provide some.
Yeah, I can just DM
He'll relay them to you
and just ask you, hey, this guy wants to know your favorite burger topping. I don't know.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, nothing really else to recommend.
Cool, sounds great. Well, we are going to be the next episode of this podcast you'll hear is going to be our very long-awaited, actually, episode on Law and Order Legacies, the by far most difficult to obtain Telltale game in the entire library. We got it. And before that episode comes out, we're going to be playing the game on Twitch. Dustin and I are going to play through the whole game, or as much of it in a single setting as we possibly can muster. And that'll be this coming Saturday. If you listen to the show when it comes out, that'll be Saturday, the 21st of October. 21st of October.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming up. Dustin, are you excited?
A little.
Yeah, me too, kind of. But it'll be a historic telling the tale moment. We haven't done anything live before, so I'm excited to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, that's the part I'm excited about. The actual Law and Order part, not a whole ton.
I'm excited to have done it, and I hope that our listeners feel the same way, to have watched it. So, yeah, please join us on Twitch. There will be a link in the show notes. Let me write that down so I actually do it. I think I said that last time and didn't do it. There will be a link in the show notes to my Twitch page, which I think is where we're going to be streaming from, so you can watch us meddle through Law and Order Legacies. I am, despite what I just said, actually kind of excited for that. So please join us then. And until next time, have a great summer.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
All right.